So if abortion law workarounds sound a little like an underground railroad, they kind of should. And in fact, there is something like that right now, a Reddit thread that's been around since 2019. And suddenly, folks, it has gotten a lot more popular. It matches women who are seeking abortions with so-called aunties and uncles who want to help with transportation and housing and tests and pills and emotional support, you name it, all those things that women might need. My next two guests have made this sort of thing their life's work. Emily Likins and Lynsey Bourke are abortion doulas. And welcome to you both. So, you know, Lynsey, let me start with you. As I understand it, you're in Guatemala, and I think I remember hearing Guatemala has outlawed abortion. So I'm trying to figure out why you're there and what you do from there. And do you help Guatemalans or do you help Americans? And if that's the case, how?
I actually am working in Mexico. I'm based in Mexico. I'm just in Guatemala right now for a work trip. But in Guatemala, we're actually setting up a pills by mail hotline that will assist Mexican women in legally accessing the abortion pill, mifepristone and misoprostol, in Mexico. And along the border of the U.S., we're planning to set up a network of abortion clinics that will be able to service women with the abortion pill and also surgical procedures if necessary. And the idea is kind of like, it's sort of a joke considering all of the energy against Mexico over the last few years with immigrants and immigration and everything else, that now Mexico is actually going to be saving America. So we're actually setting up clinics along the border of Mexico to which American women can access the abortion pill for considerably less money than currently is being charged by pills by mail in the U.S. So we'll be offering...
So I'm curious about that. I'm curious about the pill part because, and Emily, maybe you can weigh in on this. We just spoke with two guests prior regarding, well, what about, you know, interstate commerce and you know, cross international border commerce? Can you talk to me a little bit about the work that you plan to do and how you're sort of adjusting in this very, you know, quickly shifting landscape to help women who are in restrictive states who don't want to be restricted?
That's a great question. Here in Illinois, where I am based, Illinois is sort of one of these safe places for abortion. And so all of the clinics here and the Chicago Abortion Fund and doulas like me are getting ready to see an influx of patients and getting ready to provide for patients that are now going to be probably unable to access care in their own state. As was mentioned in the earlier interview, most abortions are being done through medication abortion. And a lot of the work that I do is virtual. I talk to people online. So this is going to cause a digital privacy issue for people who are seeking abortion care across state lines when they're in a state where abortion is illegal. There are a handful of tech companies that have already started diving into the very profitable market of tracking users who are searching things like abortion pills and searching things like distances between their house and an abortion clinic in another state. So while abortion pills and international mail and international commerce is really great, it's going to be imperative for people to be very careful digitally as abortion becomes actually criminalized and not just discouraged on a provider level.
It's interesting because whether you're, you know, for it or against it, and our viewers right now will have varying degrees of support, right, for what the Supreme Court is poised likely to do. It does feel strange and Orwellian to have your digital footprints monitored like that. Although I'm sure, you know, some viewers might say, well, that's what we do. If it's a crime, we monitor digital footprints, but in advance of so-called crime. That's like the, you know, the Tom Cruise movie. It's like trying to scope out who the criminal might be. So that's a bit of an interesting notion that you raised. Let me ask you this, Lynsey. Are you worried at all about the prospect of jail? Because if it does become criminalized to ship pills either interstate or over the international borders, that's what this could amount to.
No, I mean, I guess that's always a risk for this sort of work. But in general, I think that we're honestly doing the work of the divine in this sense, and that it's important. And so I'm not necessarily worried about receiving jail time, because all of the work that we're doing is actually legal in Mexico. And so in that sense, under the jurisdiction, it's legal to obtain an abortion in Mexico. And as long as they're not giving pregnancy tests along the border and deciding whether or not someone's pregnant before they go on their vacation in Mexico, I really don't think it's going to be an issue.
Oh, I think that, no matter where you stand, I think there'll be some viewers who will take umbrage with the idea that it's the work of the divine. Again, it's a totally different issue for different people who are watching it. And some say the work of the divine is what the Supreme Court just did. But let me ask you this, Emily. Is there a financial component to the work that you do? So, for instance, some people have called it abortion tourism, right? If you're in a restrictive state and you don't have the means, financial or the mode to be able to go to a state that does allow it, is there a network of financial help that you would provide to those women who wanted to make that trip and couldn't?
Absolutely. There are well-established abortion funds in nearly every state and region that can help pay for gas, that can help pay for procedures, and that can even help you find things like childcare. So if you are interested in finding help to go to another state and access the care, you can reach out to the National Network of Abortion Funds, or you can carefully Google about the abortion funds in your local area. If you are if you're a viewer who is interested in helping or taking action, donating to your local abortion fund is really the best way that you can help right now.
Feels weird to say you go to Google carefully. I hear what you're saying, and it does bring up so many other. I think the three of us will continue this conversation as this shifting landscape really does start to settle, and the realities really do set in for people all over the country. Emily, Likins, Lynsey, Bourke, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.